Hello everybody, Gisele Grenier here. In this video, I'm going to make a journal cover, and I've got two set up because one's going to be for another project, but I just want to show you some prep work. I did a video before on doing crackling with gesso, and what it was, let me just get it. It was taking product packaging, the glossy side up, applying a layer of Decor American and multi-purpose sealer to this, and then after that drying, applying a layer of Decor chalky gesso white, and that's what happens. Okay, now the multi-purpose sealer, I let it dry just enough for it to be not tacky but not completely dry, and I guess what's happening is that as it's contracting, this starts to happen. And this is a very, very common problem with oil painting when the underneath layer isn't dry yet. So, which I really like that. All right. Hopefully that's not too bright for you. I'm seeing quite a bit of glare. Hopefully that's not too bad. All right. So now I can't see. So I'm going to quickly go over the supplies, but I'm going to go through exactly what I end up using at the end of the video. So I'm going to be using Decor Media Misters. I'm going to be using Primary Cyan, Primary Magenta. I forgot one. Oh no, I mean, no. Stay focused. Carbon Black and White. Decor Chalky Gesso, again the white. Decor Media Matte Medium. Decor Media Antique and Cream Carbon Black. My Versamark watermark stamp pad, and some embossing powder. That's not the right color. That's burgundy. I don't want that color. And a stamp. And I'm going to use this butterfly stamp. And the good thing is that the whole set is what I want to use. The butterfly, and then out of limitations come creativity. And I'm going to position that there. What I'm not sure, so the experiment out of this project is I'm not sure what's going to happen if I try to stamp over stuff that's crackled. So we'll see. And I have some DIY tissue paper that I made, and all this is just that the stuff from the dollar store. It's got to be cheap stuff. And I use a paper towel core with the Decor Dazzling Metallics and the Extreme Sheens, and I just dipped it and then did that, and then just took some random stuff and just stamp. I have another video on the YouTube channel how to do stuff like this. All right, so let's get moving. So I've got my Decor Chalky Gesso in a small container. And so if you're using packaging that's raw cardboard, whether or not it's crackled or not, it doesn't matter. You want to make sure you've got gesso applied to the raw part of the cardboard, because if you were to put really wet paint in this, the cardboard is just going to suck it up and it's going to take forever to dry, and especially with the fluid or the inky stuff. And with the gesso, it creates that barrier layer. If you don't have gesso, just use paint. Just going to put a bit more on there. Oh my goodness. See how it's curling? Because even with it being gesso, it's still absorbing a little bit of that. But the fluid stuff, oh, it would take so long to dry. This also helps make the piece a little bit thicker. So you would do this on both sides. I'm assuming that you're just working with plain cardboard. So you're just going to do this and then put it aside to dry. All right. So I don't waste your time, I'm going to do the other side off camera, and then we'll go on to the next step of doing some staining and collaging. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put on some Decor Media Antique and Cream, the Carbon Black. Now this is non-permanent, so I'm going to paint it on, let it dry, then I'm going to wipe off the excess, and it's for non-porous surfaces. Then you can seal it. I'm just going to put a little bit on first, and what I want to do is this is going to sink into the cracks. But if you're not using anything that's cracked, that's fine. If you have crackle product, you can, do this with, whatever your favorite crackle medium is, or follow the the tutorial on doing this with gesso. It doesn't always work. It doesn't always work. So, but if you don't have anything to crackle this, then you can just skip this step. I just wanted to see what would happen. Okay, so I'm making sure I'm pushing that right in there. And I don't care if any of this gets on the back side of the cover. And this comes in, let's see, patina green, a red oxide. It looks like it's a burnt umber, gray, and white. So I'm just going to get my heat gun and just quickly dry that. Oh, and I missed a spot. I missed a spot. Let's see if I can take some of this. Now my brush was very damp when doing this. I didn't want it to be too thick. Whoopsie, come on. Now this is the part here that I'm probably going to end up getting a little bit of water to help pull this off. Because when you burnish it, look how shiny it gets. It gets really nice. So I'm going to get some spray water. And you can use whatever. You can use I can even use a paper towel to do this. And what I love about this is it gives this beautiful stain. But the more you rub it, and the more it'll come off, especially if it's a gessoed surface. See? And I can even see now if I just do this, I can see the brush strokes. Look at that. And if you don't if you don't turn the paper towel over, all you're doing is just smearing around the antiquing cream. So if I just go to something cleaner with a little bit of water. I don't want to put too much water, so I don't want the water seeping in. See how more comes off? So you do this to whatever tweaks your fancy. Okay. I just thought, you know what else would have been cool? Oh, I wonder if I should. No, stay focused. With that antiquing cream, and to, if you like the color, you put a stencil on, spray, then wipe it out. So what's going to come out is only what's stenciled. The other way is to apply the antiquing cream through a stencil. But there's so many different things that you can try. You can even just work the outside to get a nice border. Like I said, there's no steadfast rule. It's whatever looks good for you. And then once that's ready or done, I'm just going to take a clean cloth and I'm going to buff the crap out of it. It gets a little bit shiny. This does need to be sealed if it's going to be a functional piece, and because this is a journal cover, it is going to be sealed. I'm going to seal it with matte medium. On the back of the bottle, Jet Decor recommends varnish, but I want to keep working with this. Oh, all right. Look at that. That looks so old. I love that. Okay, so that's that. That goes in my water bucket. Okay, so let's get some matte medium. You can use even the decoupage medium with the matte finish. That's fine. It's much thinner than this. So just going to put a layer on that. And try not to overwork an area, otherwise you'll dissolve the antiquing cream that's on there already. So this is going to give a awesome layer of protection. If you get the matte medium, this specific medium on your fingers, make sure you wipe your fingers because it is so powerful your fingers will get sticky. You'll have a layer of glue on there. If you don't have matte medium, then just use whatever you have to create that barrier layer. Okay, so I'm going to let that sit for a sec. And I gotta get into a habit of constantly cleaning up my workspace. How many of you find that when you're doing your cleanup is that, you know, the cleanup actually just sucks the energy out of you? Yeah, it does me. I'm going to use this other card as something to, ooh. But I don't want to use the whole thing. So what I need to do is look at this. Oh, I don't want to cover any of it with the paper. I think I'm going to do this top corner. So just a corner area. So I'm just going to roughly cut a piece. Just like that. Yep. That looks good. I love circles. Guess you guys didn't know that yet, right? That I love circles. I'm going to take that and I'm going to help the drying time. It's best if you leave it dry, let it dry naturally if possible. To make sure that it's had its time to cure, but you know me. Patience is not in my wheelhouse. Alright. And I'm going to put another layer on there. And when I'm putting matte medium on, depending on what I'm working on, I'll always put a coat over the whole piece so it's uniform. And on the back side. And what this does is it helps the piece, I can reposition it. There. And oh, I don't know, let's put that right there. But you guys know I always work in threes. So let's put another one there. Oh, the bottom. You know what's funny? I'm not a fan of, I'm not a fan of gold. I don't know why. Probably because somebody said you have to put gold in your pieces because it makes it look better. So as soon as somebody tells me I have to do something, I'm going to do everything I can in my power to do the exact opposite. I don't know why. That's why when I do projects, I don't tell you guys what you have to do. I give suggestions, and you, in the end, you know, whatever you do is on you, but you do what you want. But if there's something that has to be done because of chemistry or something, like you can't put acrylics over oils, then I'll tell you, you can't put acrylics over oils. You can do it if you want. It won't turn out. But all right, so I'm just going to fold this over. Oh, that tore, so it's just fine. Go. If you have the patience to let it dry and then pull it off, then that's fine. What I am going to do, see, this is all, ugh. Because it's going to be a journal, I'm going to be binding it on this side here. On the inside cover, I'm going to be putting a much more collage, especially on that side, to help the strength for the binding. All right. Okay, so let that sit. I don't think I need this anymore. Nope. Okie dokie. So now we can't do anything now until that dries. So what I'm going to do is, let's see. I can choose to stamp this onto cardstock, emboss it, and cut it out, or just stamp it. I think I'm just going to stamp it on that. Yeah, I'm not going to do the embossing, so let's put that over there. Let's speed this up. All right, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to work the edges with Decor Media Fluid Acrylics Carbon Black. I'm going to take the little block here. You can use cosmetic sponge, whatever you want, And I'm just going to pop that in there. And this is something from Tim Holtz. This is a little gadget. You don't have to do this. You can take a block and put Velcro and a pad. It is comfortable to hold, and it's great when my arthritis kicks up. But I prefer using a cosmetic sponge, to be honest with you. But the arthritis is kicking up today. Minus 20 Celsius outside right now. And we haven't even hit February. Oh, I love that broken thing. We're going to do this a couple of times. I love it when it's broken like that. I'm going to take advantage of it now. Now, some of you may have distress inks, and that's fine. The other thing is distress inks are not permanent, and I want permanence in my pieces. And normally I do this at the end, but I wanted to do this now because it helps me compose the piece. And this little pad here, I'm going to put it directly in water because I have another one on the side here for when I do it again. And not throwing that out. No siree, Bob. I'm going to put that on my palette paper. And all these things that when I pick up the paint and that, you can use these as collage material. Just when you take them, you open them up, you dry them, and then rinse them when they're dry. Rinse them under cold water to get rid of any detergents or whatever it is that the company's put in here to make babies' bums soft. Just rinse to get that out. And then you've got great collage material. Okay, let me just quickly dry this. Now this next part here, although I'm using ink, you don't have to use ink. You can use paint. I wanted to use these because they're sprays. They make such a mess and they clog up. I avoided using them, but now I found another way around it, and so I can either put the ink on, then stamp on top, or stamp and then put the ink on top. So I think what I want to do, I'm going to do the stamping after the technique I'm going to show you. So if you don't have any of these inks, you can use whatever you have, but you can use the DecoArts also has the matching color in paint. So primary cyan, primary magenta, the carbon black, and then the white. So you can do that as well. So what I'm going to do is you don't need a lot. Put that there. And a little bit of the black here. I'm going to need that again. And the white is, I think I'm going to, no, I think I'm going to leave the white. I may not even use the white. I'm going to leave that over there. All right, so with this here, I'm going to take a spray bottle and I'm going to spray. And this works really well on a no-stick mat, or use palette paper. Because it's non-absorbent and the ink starts to bubble up like this. And all I'm going to do is just take this and I'm just going to dip it into the piece. And I can move it around and I can take a little bit more water. And it's all a playing game at this point. Oh, look at that purple. Oh, look at that purple. Now, the unfortunate thing is that when you have a pattern that you really like, you gotta let it dry. Because the effect that you get when you let it dry naturally, you'll get some ridges on the outside where the paint is, those ridges. It's like a micro thin almost like a line being drawn around the shape, which is gorgeous. The other thing you can do is just blot it up. I don't want to lose that pink. I definitely want some heavy color at the top. So when you find what you like, then basically just dry it. Let me just move that down a bit more. Because if I just keep dipping into it, it's just going to get all smushy. So let me dry that. You can also, oh, you know what? Let's do this. You can also blot it. So gently, gently blot. This is just another way of doing it. It's all about experimenting. See how you just have a little bit of color? Then you can use that for collage material. Then dry this, and then just do layers of this. Just make sure you don't point your heat gun that way because you're going to be drying this stuff up. Because you can always add to this. The first one that I did, if I had just dried that, it would have been a lot, and it doesn't leave much room for doing more stuff. So I'm just going to take a little bit of black. Ooh, look at that. That is cool, cool, cool. I want a little bit of the pink in there. Oh, with the black. That's interesting. And then just a little bit of water, just to encourage movement. Oh. Because the butterfly is going to go right about here. That's going to go there. That's going to go there. I don't want it to go too far down, but I definitely want it to come down the sides. And I definitely want heaviness there. But it all depends. Honestly, it all depends on what you want to do. There is no right or wrong way. But my primary choice would be to let this dry naturally. I'm just going to go in here a little bit more. All right. Then I'm going to take a little bit more blue right there. Okay, I need a little bit more water there. It's getting a little, the water's evaporating. And I want a little bit more magenta. Let's see if I can get some magenta in there without the black. You know, what if we just tapped it? Ooh, nice. See how much of a mess it makes? I love that. Oh. Go. Let's dry that. So I did another dip and let it dry. Now what I did is I took a baby wipe with a little bit of rubbing alcohol, and I'm just going to go over some areas around where the butterfly is going to be, and I'm just going to lift up a little bit of paint, not a lot. Just a little bit. You only do a little bit of rubbing alcohol to get it started. That's where the quote's going to be. Just a little bit. So now you know why I was going to do the edges again. All right. It's just to create a little bit of that contrast in there, and especially in here where I want to still see that crackle. I said you don't have to do this. I just want to see a little bit more of the crackle. So not a lot's coming off. I'm going to turn around and a little bit more rubbing alcohol. Touch it a little bit and just check, check, check. To make sure The butterfly. Butterfly I'm not too worried about. That's why I wanted it really heavy. There we go. Get some nice white space going on here. And this will you can usually do this probably for maybe 15-20 minutes. It's basically until the acrylics have had time to cure. Once the acrylics have cured, no, then you're stuck. And the paint was in a line, so I'm just creating a little bit of shape in here. So. Now the other thing is you can also do this technique. Where you stamp first, then put the spray paint on. That's totally fine. All right, so now let's stamp. Gotta make sure that's bone dry. And use my stays on. You know what? No, stay focused. I was going to do embossing on this because it would really stand out, but no, I don't want to do that. Block. I get so unfocused sometimes. Ideas keep popping up in my head. All right. I'm thinking right about here. Oh, it didn't stamp too heavy, but that's okay because it's the crackles uneven. All right. I'm just going to clean that. And then, oh, you're going to give me a hard time, aren't you? Seriously, come on. Oh. No, I'm going to get my head in the way. Yeah, nice. Keeping it really simple. Keeping it really, really simple. Now let me dry that. What I should have done, now that I think of simple, this would have been better. There is beauty in simplicity. That would have been nice. That would have been nice. And now just going to take that paint and just going to do the edges again. That's basically it. That's it. Now what I always do, I always come in and as I start creating in my journal, I always boost up the cover when I create the actual pages. I always boost up the cover. And I'm thinking now, I would have loved to have put maybe even a strip of washi tape here, but I'm going to leave it so I don't get distracted. But there you go. A very simple, grungy thing. And again, if you don't like the style, that's fine. Just take the technique and try it with your own color styles. You know, whether you want to use yellow and blue, or try to keep the colors, you know, relatively in the same area on the color wheel. That way everything will match together if you pick up two wet colors and they blend together. What you don't want is you don't want to take a red and a green without knowing what's going to happen when you mix them together, because that turns into, depending on the ratio, a chromatic black, something really, really dark. So there you go. Now, nope, I'm going to wait. Nope. Yeah, I have to wait because I haven't done this side. I've got these corner pieces, these metal corner pieces that would look really nice on this, but I have to wait until that dries. But let me go and show you what it could look like. There's those little book pieces, and you put them on. Oh. And then you crimp them. And the color's not too bad. It's not too bad. I may turn around with my gold embossing powder. I may have to come in, you know, enhance it. I'm not sure. I may even come in with some more paint and put in some dots. I don't know. But look how pretty that would look. And then you just crimp them to hold them in place. And of course, these were found on Amazon because I can't get, there's nothing like that up here where I live. So that's what it would look like. Now, if you wanted to change up the color of these, you can use alcohol ink and change up the color. But look at that. Really pretty, eh? So there you go. Hope that you got inspired with some ideas for this. Again, don't worry about perfection. You know, a few years ago, that where the butterfly is missing this wing here, I would have drove me crazy. But no, don't worry about it. What I like to try to do is find something in the piece that I have learned from to work next time. So next time, if I were to do this again, I would make this much lighter because the butterfly is getting lost. But I'm thinking that's the universe kind of telling me that sometimes when I'm creating art pieces, how I'm kind of being guided, oh, let's try this, let's try this, let's try this, to the point where I'm not staying focused. I'm kind of getting lost in the process. And I think this is just, you know, woo-woo, it telling me that that's what's happening. So for this, I'm going to leave it. But if I wanted to do it next time and avoid this, is I would just make this part much lighter. And maybe with the intention of using a background that's more flat because of that this part here was much higher than this for the stamping. The stamp didn't reach this part. It's just to work on something flatter. But there you go. All right, so what I actually ended up using was the Decor Chalky Gesso, the white, Decor Media Matte Medium, Decor Media Antique and Cream Carbon Black, Decor Media Fluid Acrylics Carbon Black, Decor Media Misters Primary Magenta Carbon Black, Primary Cyan. Didn't use the white. I brought in some 70% rubbing alcohol, water bottle mister, a butterfly and quote stamp, stays on ink, and whoopsie, and the tissue. I think I've got it. Oh, and then you know, paper towel and baby wipes and all that stuff. All right, so I hope that you enjoyed this project, and I look forward to seeing the piece that you made. So what to do is take your piece and share it on social, and then post the link to that in the comments below, or go to artplace.ca and send me the link there so I can check it out. All right, so hope you enjoyed it, and until I see you in the next video, stay inspired.